As we were just talking about with Becky, as we were exploring the chains of lakes in northern Wisconsin, we have over 125 streams and creeks and rivers in the Northwoods as well. As we've been talking all day, we have over 3,000 lakes, 125 streams, creeks, and rivers in the Northwoods. So when people call and say, I want to be on the water, what does that exactly mean to them? So we had Mandy take a deep dive into those streams, creeks, and rivers so we could kind of give you guys an idea of what that kind of purchase looks like and who's typically looking for it. You know, when we were looking out of the state of Wisconsin for retirement, and the only thing I had in my brain was I want a babbling brook or a babbling creek in the background.
Sure.
And I think we have that up here.
Absolutely.
And I think for some people, that's the deer, that's the bear, that's the wildlife swimming and paddling in it, that they can look out their window and really see year-round water movement.
Yeah.
I think to me, that's one of the unique things about the rivers is the lakes freeze and they're like a solid, well, you know, sometimes they look like a field, but the rivers don't. So if you want that year-round babbling brook sound, you can get that on the type of body of water you explored. So tell us a little bit about what you explored, Mandy.
Sure. Well, diving into it, it was actually a really exciting kind of area to look at, the rivers and the streams, because it made me realize that there's so many buyers who have been searching for a while for that water property in the Northwoods, but it's either out of their price range or they're unable to get it. And so it really made me realize that this is another option for them. And it's also another option for maybe a buyer who their budget that they're comfortable with is a little bit lower. And these are still great properties where you can get on water. And like you were saying, sometimes those rivers and streams do lead into the bigger body of water. And so I think it's a good idea to keep that in the back of their minds, that just because you're not on that full rec lake, again, like all the other buyers agents have said, you are surrounded by them still.
You can be on them for the day with the chaos for your family and then go home to your quiet little setting at the end of the day.
Right, and I think that's a great way to put it too. A lot of buyers that call looking for waterfront always add in, they want the peaceful and the serenity of the Northwoods, and I truly believe the rivers and the streams will offer just that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what did you learn a little bit about price point? Tell us a little bit about your deep dive.
Awesome. Okay, so it kind of dove in just like the other buyers agents looking in the past few years. And so interesting for the residential properties on rivers and streams in 2020, the average was about 288,000. And so going up until now, we saw about a 56% increase, looking at about 452,000. And that's for a 3-bed, 2-bath.
Okay. Not bad. But look at, you're getting 745 feet of shoreline.
More shoreline.
And about 13 acres.
And more acreage.
So that gives you that much more private setting.
Yes.
Because you're not getting the bigger water, but you're getting the river frontage or the creek frontage. Yes. Interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's
and
a
then
lot
I
of acreage.
also looked into the vacant lots, and same thing going from 2020 to 2023. You're going to see in 2020 about 87,000. And then in 2023, and we're halfway through, but we're seeing about 124,000. Something that really was interesting to me though, was looking at that list to sale percent ratio.
Yeah.
And I found that out of all of the lakes and rivers and all the other ones that the buyer's agents talk to, this is gonna offer you the most negotiation room out of all of the other properties.
Yeah, really, you've hovered right just over 90% for the last couple of years. So if you're somebody who really wants to feel like you're going to be able to negotiate, maybe get some dollars shaved off the top, definitely be able to do your septic inspection, you know, make sure that it will perk for what you want to do there. This would definitely be a spot to look at. And when you really look at the acreage, I mean, you're also buying a pretty good chunk of land in the Northwoods to kind of make your claim at, which is awesome.
Absolutely.
Even the same with the housing, the average amount of shoreline that you get with the homes on this type of frontage is easily between 400 and 600 feet of frontage, which again is pretty astounding.
It is.
It gives you that private wooded setting that a lot of people I think come north looking for.
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about inventory, because this was really surprising to me.
Yes. So looking at the current inventory that we have for residential, active, we're looking at about 6 active properties. Yeah, so I think, and that was surprising for me as well. And it just goes to show, and even if you're a seller in the Northwoods, you're really seeing that the inventory on the river and stream is low, and this might be a great time to get your property on the market.
Yep.
Yeah.
Somebody might be looking for exactly what you have.
Absolutely.
Your private little Northwoods setting.
Yeah, and then for vacant land, we're seeing right now we have 15 active in the whole MLS for Oneida and Vilas.
Wow. And interestingly enough, because we were talking about the list to sell ratio, days on market for the 15 active is still over 300.
Right.
So again, if you're a buyer looking and you think you don't feel like you've been able to negotiate at anything you've been purchasing, maybe taking a look at some of that older inventory that's been out there for a while, because 300 days on market, we aren't really seeing anywhere right now.
Right.
Yep, so there's
Right.
real opportunity for a little bit of negotiation there.
Right, and what I also thought was interesting, on average through the years, you'll see that the range is from 288,000 to about 452,000, and that just kind of really sparked, my brain. Like, wow, there's a lot of buyers that call and say we want to be on water in that $250,000 to $300,000 price range.
Right.
And as you've heard from the other agents, it's pretty hard to find water on that property on bigger waters, but this is your chance.
Yep.
on this type of water in that price range.
Yep, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And what are some of the things you can do?
Kayak, paddleboarding, fishing, tubing, tying a tube up to the pier and just enjoying it all.
Yeah.
Seeing the wildlife, just so much. And even with some rivers and streams, you still have that sandy, some of them
Yep.
still offer that sandy frontage.
Yeah, they actually do. I know Rice Creek, we lived there for a little while back there. We weren't on the creek ourselves, but our neighbors, they would take they would take their floaties upstream,
Yeah.
and then they would just float back
Yeah.
down to their house, and they would pull some stuff with them as they did it.
Yep.
And the puppies love it. Everybody loves it.
Yeah.
Anything else that you think people should know about this particular market segment in the Northwoods?
I just think that it's if you are looking for waterfront property in the Northwoods and you've been so focused on full wreck lake or being on the chain, maybe open your search, broaden your horizon a little bit, and look at those rivers and streams, because again, sometimes they lead into that bigger body of water.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So again, if you're looking for this type of frontage, again, you've always had that vision in your head of hearing that water rushing in the evening or during the day when you're taking a nap on the couch, reach out to Mandy. She's done a deep dive. She can tell you a lot of statistics about them and kind of explain to you what you can afford in this particular price point. And we'd love to see you in the Northwoods. Have a great day.